Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the question actually demonstrates a lack of commercial understanding by the person who's asked the question. Madam Speaker, anybody who knows about the airline industry would know that airlines are exceptionally high capital and high cash flow operations, where minor missed opportunities or mistakes can mean instant losses of hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more, Madam Speaker. So any responsible board would actually appoint the best person to actually carry out the job. Madam Speaker, of course, the question is also limited by the fact of saying localize all positions. You have various positions within an airline company. You have the executive management, you have middle management, you have the techs or the engineers, you have, of course, the flight crew, and you have the pilots. So the 4 or 5 categories. The fifth one, of course, are the financial team, the financial management, the commercial side of operations. Mr. Speaker, I've got a list of something like, at least here, 36 airlines in the world, major airlines, that all have expatriates. Even companies like Qantas, the CEO came as an expatriate. He's an Irishman. I understand he may have taken up Australian citizenship by now. But the various other companies, even companies in India, that run domestic airlines, large operations. A country of 1.2, 1.3 billion people are using expatriates within the airline. So essentially, because of the fact that a national carrier or an airline is a company that actually operates in the international market, it has to obviously at times have expatriates. However, in Fiji's case, Madam Speaker, in Fiji Airways, the company does have a policy that to train locals wherever appropriate, wherever they identify strong characters, strong individuals who can take up various positions. So in recent times, Madam Speaker, in the executive leadership team, 3 of the 11 positions, Fijians have actually replaced expatriates in the executive general manager positions. Of course, one of them is a woman, which we should all be proud of, because we've never had a person in that capacity filling that type of role before. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, among the group of 16 members of the wider leadership team of general managers who are separate to the executive leadership team, 12 are Fijians, including 3 Fijian women. And 5 of the 12 Fijians replaced expatriate GMs who were in those roles previously. So, Madam Speaker, there's a lot of changes taking place. I know sometimes they only seem to be concerned about pilots. I had given a ministerial statement in this respect. If they had listened, they would have heard. Madam Speaker, for the Fiji Airways group, which includes both the Fiji Link and also Fiji Airways, the number of pilots we have, locals, Fijians are 158 pilots, and expatriates are 95. And obviously, Madam Speaker, as they would know that through the TELS program too, we are providing a certain number of places within the TELS program that allows students to actually get access TELS. I mean, to be a pilot, the training, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars literally. This is why the numbers have been limited or restricted to what Fiji Airways can have as an intake. Madam Speaker, what will also help us in terms of getting more locals in the space of pilots, get more Fijians to become pilots, is that we're setting up the flight simulator school, as the groundbreaking ceremony took place earlier in the last few months ago, Madam Speaker, where within a year's time we'll have the 737 simulator, and then depending on the wide-bodied aircraft that will go with, we'll have the A350 or the Dreamliner. That'll be the simulator will be put in place there. So again, there are various opportunities. Of course, in respect of the flight attendants, they all almost invariably are Fijian flight attendants. We've had 1 or 2 expatriates, for example, when they started flying to Hong Kong, and we did not have flight attendants who could fully be conversant in Cantonese or Potongwa, then they had to have those flight attendants who could speak only on those flights. They would put them on, Madam Speaker. We have, for example, in this case, we're starting to fly to Japan in July, and 2 of the staff will be flight attendants who are based in Japan are actually the daughters of former rugby players who are actually based in Japan now and been there for years. So they're fully conversant in the Japanese language. And so they have actually been hired too, Madam Speaker. You see, fundamentally they need to understand, from a commercial perspective, I think there's only one business person on the other side, Honorable Chan, he would tell you that if you are going to have the option of hiring a person who's a Fijian or an expatriate, and if they both can perform the same role, obviously from a purely commercial perspective, you would hire the Fijian person because they're less expensive. It just makes commercial sense. But of course, you need to be able to see the point of delivery. If the person can have the same delivery, same input, obviously you'll hire them. But in instances where you actually need that level of expertise and knowledge, then of course you'll get somebody who can perform the job at an optimum level. Thank you.